My son didn't return my calls for 11 days. Not one, 11 days of silence. I left 2 voicemails, sent 1 text, then I stopped. And on the 12th day, I called him and said 4 sentences, just 4. He called back within the hour, and the conversation we had that afternoon was the best one we'd had in 2 years. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly what those 4 sentences were. I'm 77 years old, and I want to talk about something that a lot of men and women our age feel but rarely say out loud: being ignored by your adult children. Not abandoned, not hated, just ignored. The unreturned call, the text that gets a 1-word reply 3 days later, the visit that gets postponed again, the sense that you've somehow slipped down their list of priorities without anyone making a decision about it. It's one of the loneliest feelings I know, because it comes wrapped in confusion. You love them, you know they love you, and yet somehow there's this growing distance that nobody seems to know how to close. And here's what most of us do when we feel ignored. We try harder, we call more, we send more messages, we show up more. We become, without meaning to, more present in exactly the way that's pushing them further away. I did this for almost 2 years, and I want to save you that time. Because there's a better way. A way that doesn't involve chasing or begging or guilt or anger, just a few specific words said in a specific way that change the dynamic completely. Stay with me through this whole video, because the most important phrase, the one that I think will actually change something in your relationship, comes near the end, and it's not what you expect. In a few minutes, I'm going to share the exact words I used with my son, but before I do, I need to explain why most of what we naturally say in these situations makes things worse, not better. There's a pattern behind it that took me years to understand. Once you see it, everything changes. When our children ignore us, most of us reach for one of 3 responses. The first is guilt. I haven't heard from you in weeks. I'm your father. Do you know how that feels? We say it because it's true. We say it because we're hurting. But what it does is put them on the defensive immediately. Now the conversation isn't about connection. It's about who's right and who's wrong. And nobody wins that conversation. The second is withdrawal. We go quiet. We stop reaching out. We wait for them to notice. Sometimes this works briefly. They reach out, check in, feel a moment of concern. But if nothing changes underneath, the distance returns within weeks. The third is over-explanation. We send long messages. We lay out our feelings in detail. We explain exactly how the silence has affected us. And our children, who are busy, stressed, distracted, look at that wall of text and feel overwhelmed before they've read the first line. My friend Howard tried all 3 with his daughter over the course of about 18 months. He told me, I felt like I was throwing everything at the wall and nothing was sticking. What Howard didn't realize, what most of us don't realize, is that the problem wasn't what he was saying, it was the position he was speaking from. He was speaking from need, from hurt, from a place of deficit. And people, even people who love you, instinctively pull back from that energy. Not because they're cruel, but because they don't know how to fix it, and we avoid what we can't fix. The shift that changed everything for me was this. I stopped speaking from need and started speaking from strength. Not fake strength, not pretending everything was fine, but genuine, grounded strength. The kind that says, I am a whole person with a full life and I would like you in it, but I don't require you to complete me. That shift changes everything about how your words land. When you speak from need, your children hear, you owe me something, and resentment builds quietly, even in loving children. When you speak from strength, your children hear, I have something worth showing up for, and something in them responds. My neighbor Al figured this out at 71 after his wife passed. He had 3 adult children who were attentive in the immediate aftermath of the loss and then gradually drifted back to their own lives. Within a year, Al was seeing each of them maybe once every 2 or 3 months. He told me one afternoon,
I realized I'd become someone they visited out of obligation, and I hated that. I didn't want obligation, I wanted them to actually want to come. So Al changed. He started a woodworking project, joined a fishing club, took a short trip he'd always postponed. And when he talked to his kids, he talked about his life. Not about how much he missed them, not about how rarely they visited, about his life. Within 6 months, his daughter was calling twice a week, not because Al had asked her to, because he'd become interesting again, because visiting him gave her something instead of costing her something. That's the foundation. But I promised you specific words, exact phrases, because the shift in position is the most important thing, but knowing how to express it in a real conversation, in a real moment when you're hurt and they're distant, that's where most people get stuck. So let me give you the actual language, starting with the hardest situation first. When they haven't called in weeks and you're feeling invisible. Most people say, "Why haven't you called? I've been waiting to hear from you." Say this instead. "Hey, I know you're busy, and I'm not calling to make you feel guilty. I just wanted to hear your voice for a few minutes. How are you actually doing?" That's it. 3 sentences. Notice what this does. It removes guilt before it can form. "I'm not calling to make you feel guilty," disarms their defense immediately. It signals that you're not fragile, you're not calling from desperation, and then it turns the attention to them. How are you actually doing? Which is what people most want, to be asked, to be seen. The word actually matters. Not how are you, everyone asks that. How are you actually doing signals that you want the real answer, that you can handle it, that you're a safe person to be honest with. My friend Howard used this exact phrasing with his daughter after I shared it with him. He told me she talked for 40 minutes, hadn't opened up like that in years.
When they cancel plans again, then you feel like you're not a priority. Most people say, "You always cancel. This is the 3rd time. I don't understand why I'm not important to you." Say this instead. "No problem at all. Life gets busy. I understand that. When things settle down for you, I'd love to find a time. I've got something I think you'd actually enjoy." 2 things happen here. First, you release them from guilt completely, which paradoxically makes them more likely to reschedule, not less. People reschedule out of desire, not out of guilt. Second, "I've got something I think you'd actually enjoy," is an open loop. They don't know what it is. They're curious. You've given them a reason to follow up that has nothing to do with obligation. It might be your woodworking project, your garden, a story you've been wanting to tell, a recipe you finally got right. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that there's something, that your life has content worth sharing. And now the 4 sentences I used with my son. After 11 days of silence, I called him. He picked up, which surprised me, and instead of saying any of the things I'd been rehearsing in my head for 11 days, I said this: "I'm not calling because I'm upset. I'm calling because I miss talking to you, and I don't want us to get out of the habit. I've been thinking about something lately, and I'd like your opinion on it. You always see things I don't. Do you have 10 minutes? 4 sentences. Let me break down why they work. "I'm not calling because I'm upset" removes the defensive wall before it goes up. "I miss talking to you, and I don't want us to get out of the habit." Honest, direct, not dramatic. It names the thing without weaponizing it. "I've been thinking about something and I'd like your opinion on it." This is the key phrase. You are not asking for comfort. You are not asking to be taken care of. You are asking for his mind, his judgment, his input. You are treating him as a peer, as someone whose perspective you value. That is profoundly different from asking for his time or his attention. "You always see things I don't." 4 words that every adult child needs to hear from a parent. That they are capable, that they have something to offer, that the relationship isn't just about them giving to you. It goes both ways. He called back within the hour. The conversation lasted 2 hours. And at the end of it, he said something I hadn't heard in a long time. He said, "Dad, I'm glad you called." Not, sorry, I haven't called. Not, I'll do better. Just, I'm glad you called. That's what you're aiming for. Not an apology, not a promise, just a son who is genuinely glad to hear from his father. Before I give you your action for today, I want to tell you one phrase to remove from your vocabulary entirely when it comes to your adult children. After everything I've done for you. I know why we say it. It comes from a real place, years of sacrifice, of showing up, of giving. It's true, and it feels like it should matter. But the moment those words leave your mouth, the conversation is over. Because now your child is not your child, they're a debtor, and nobody wants to feel like they owe a debt they can never fully repay. Remove it, permanently. Whatever you gave freely. That was the agreement of parenthood. Invoking it now costs you more than it could ever recover. Here is your one action for today. Think of one adult child or one person you love who has felt distant lately. Not absent, not cruel, just distant. Write down these 4 sentences and adapt them to your situation. 1. I'm not calling because I'm upset. 2. I miss talking to you and I don't want us to get out of the habit. 3. I've been thinking about something and I'd like your opinion on it. 4. You always see things I don't. Make that call this week, not someday, this week. You cannot control whether they pick up. You cannot control how they respond. But you can control the position you speak from. And speaking from strength, from genuine, grounded, unhurried strength, is the most powerful thing you can do. I want to hear from you. Have you ever found the right words at the right moment and felt the relationship shift because of it? Or are you still looking for those words? Leave it in the comments, because I think a lot of people watching this right now are carrying this quietly, and sometimes just knowing you're not alone in it helps. Next time, I want to talk about something that nobody prepares you for after 70, the strange freedom of caring less about what people think, how that happens, why it's not selfishness, and why it might be the best thing about getting older. I'll see you then.